Let's get started now by making sense of some of these stories. Charles Fakro, IBrandTV senior analyst, joins us live here in the studio. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, so I think we need to begin from the last story, which I consider as one of the biggest story of the day, looking at the arrangement to, bring back the evacuees who are supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Federal government, according to that report, sent about 150 million naira to an undisclosed transport company yesterday in hiring 40 buses. So talk to us about all of this effort. How tangible is this effort? Perhaps maybe this will go a long way.
First of all, yes, it's the duty of any sovereign nation to ensure safety of our citizens any part of the world. Now, first of all, I don't even understand why is it an undisclosed transport company. Disclose the name of the company. Let's be transparent. That's on one side.
Yeah.
I've also followed this story very well, and at first I was a little bit irritated because the Diaspora Commission, the madam there said it is impossible for Nigerians or the Nigerian government to evacuate because they're already attacking the airport and all that.
Right.
There are certain things you don't come out to say openly like that.
Until you're ready and you're
Exactly.
sure.
What is impossibility? The lives of Nigerians are at stake. Other nationals have been evacuated. We don't want to know how they were able to do it. They were even saying some aircraft were attacked, that their countries were trying to evacuate their citizens. For God's sake, you are going to evacuate your citizens no matter the danger that is there. That's why we have a military. If it's involved deploying our Nigerian military, you deploy them there. Special forces, our rescue, our students, and of course our national. Sudan is a war-torn country as we speak. And the war is not in the suburb. I mean in the local areas. Right. It's right at the capital, Khartoum. And that is why they are even taking over the airport. So, yes, but thank God, we even had some Nigerians who have been volunteered. I don't want to mention, maybe I'm advertising for him. Epies, the owner of Epies, had volunteered. I was ready to go
Alan Onyema.
Yes, to get Nigerians out of that. In fact, we are not surprised because he has been doing it. Yes, I'm happy now. The government now saw that there is a need for them to be there.
That art alone should be commended.
Of course.
It is patriotic enough. That's how it should be.
Yes, exactly.
I also want us to talk about the fact it's not about the cost now.
Of course, it's not.
But how important do you take your citizens seriously? Because we've seen other national, like you've said, been evacuated already.
Yes.
The US, from European countries, you've seen some of them, come to evacuate their nationals and some other diplomats as well. But the urgency is what we need to look at now. But this is going to be through roads. How safe is this? Because we're talking about the security of lives and property across the, Sahel.
Yeah.
How safe is this measure? Hiring 40 buses to evacuate your national. It is safe. That's what we must begin to question.
That is where the security experts, the military intelligence, and all agencies involved will come into. I'm sure we have a Nigerian embassy in Sudan.
Right.
They should have, if I will have maybe a defense attaché in that embassy that get all the intelligence and feed the country. If there is a need to escort those buses, yes, you can have an arrangement after talking to the Nigerian embassy in Sudan,
right,
and of course discussing with their foreign affairs minister. If there is a need to deploy special forces to escort those Nigerian buses that are going by road, because it's going to be a very long distance.
But would that cost enough? Because if you look at how much you're going to spend on security, wait, how much has already gone out? 150 million.
What is 150 million compared to a Nigerian life?
Because the perception or the perspective there is that why not fly them? Because if you see. If you discover that this is not safe, you're going to spend more because you have to hire to hire security, you have to pay for that security personnel. Why not convert that approach to flying them down?
Okay, now look at it. Let's understand it very well, Frank. There were issues because the airport is already under attack. So that's a concern. So they are now saying not everybody lives in that Khartoum. So if they live in other places, they can convey And of course, that's why I said they need the intelligence from the Nigerian embassy in Sudan, so that they know that, yes, there is a safe corridor for them. It's very easy, just get to the airport, but people even going to the airport, they are being attacked. So that's the security situation as we speak. And that's why they said, okay, that could be an alternative. You take them by bus to a nearby country, and you now fly them to Nigeria. That is why they are using those buses. But me, I'm saying, we have a Nigerian embassy in Sudan, and there is a defense attaché there. Give us all the intelligence, like you have said, whether it is safe to move them by buses to a nearby country, and of course, before you now fly them to Nigeria. Yes, I know in rescue operations like this, there are bound to be eventualities. Yeah. But we will not say because of that, we will not rescue our beloved citizens who are in, especially the students who are in Sudan. So the government and of course the security experts will look at it very well, and I'm sure that's what they have done, and that's why the evacuation is commencing today.
Let's hope that, I mean, how it's, let's look at, we'll keep our eyes, you know, or keep a tab on that development to see how the proceedings, you know, we go. But we hope that they arrive here safely.
Of course they will.
It's all right. But let's get into some other interesting story now. Maybe we should start from the first one that was skipped earlier, infrastructure development. Federal government, you know, partnering US for a $15 billion rail project.
That's in the Niger Delta specifically?
Yes, in the Niger Delta.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would say, let's commend the current minister of Niger Delta, because one will say, do you really have is there a ministry of Niger Delta?
Well, it's a commission. I mean, there's a
ministry, and there's also a commission.
There's a ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, and there's a minister in charge. There's a minister in charge. I mean, and there's also an NDDC,
which Niger is a commission.
Delta, yes, commission.
Now, I will say, without fear of contradiction, but I stand to be corrected, NDDC has performed woefully over time. They have performed woefully over time. And yes, if the minister in charge of the Niger Delta Affairs is now saying, this is what we want to do, we must commend him. But am I employing the citizens of Niger Delta?
Right.
Because they are saying that rail project will cut across all the states in the Niger Delta
area.
And that will lead to economic transformation, because once people are able to move around, they can do their businesses very well. But I want to employ the citizens of Niger Delta to cooperate with NDDC. And of course, the management of NDDC should be transparent, because if you look at NDDC, for over 20 or 23 years, it has been in existence. What do they have to show? They will tell you empowerment program. And when you look at the empowerment, you are not seeing anything. So this is the first time we are saying that, yes, they want to go into a real project, but I believe it should be something that they should be intentional about, and we should see the impact of that project in the region itself. And, you know, for these things to succeed, the indigenes themselves must be willing and ready to cooperate and support.
And perhaps this, development put to rest the issue of, marginalization and federal, the questioning of federal government, federal character. Because if you look at Kano-Kaduna Rail, you have that.
Okay.
You also have, some rail projects across the north central, northwest.
Yes.
So now that we're having Niger Delta in focus, perhaps we have to put to rest
we also have
that agitation
rail system even in the Niger Delta already. I know there is a rail from Port Harcourt moving to the north.
Right.
There is a rail also from Warri, Itakpe, Lokoja. So we have this. But what we are saying now is, with this PPP, it will be enhanced.
Private partnership.
Yes, it will be enhanced. But me, I'm saying, for it to work,
cooperation.
Yes, I'm holding the youths of Niger Delta. I've been there for quite some time. I have a lot of interest there, and I want to see that this project is successful and we see the benefit. But the youths of Niger Delta must be the vanguard.
Why are you so particular about the youth of Niger Delta?
Because the youth of Niger Delta,
you're not talking about the political, class who who has the
political
power,
class
who have the power to
it is the youths that will implement these things. It is the youths that are in charge of Niger Delta. Once the youths are in support of any political arrangement, it will work.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I think we need to leave it there. Let's quickly take a break. When we return, of course, we continue with the rest of the stories. I'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us. So let's continue now. We're still looking at some of the top business headline here on the program. So the next, of course, will be the aviation fares, which has hit a new high of 582 naira to the US dollar. So before if you're flying a 6-hour, Lagos to London,
yes,
that's almost between 1.2 million to 2 million naira. So again, the problem has been attributed to the fact that the international airlines are reacting, all right, yes, to this policy of having their funds, stock, or will I say held down here. Exactly. So instead of repatriating these funds, they've been having difficulties in repatriating these funds. So talk to us about this development. What's your position about this?
Well, this is one issue that keeps, coming up, and we've also tried to talk to the aviation ministry and, of course, the government to see that they should do everything in that part. Because if I'm in a foreign land and I have done my business, then there should be a very seamless way of repatriating whatever funds that is due to me legally. It's as simple as that. Yes, the government of the day will say there are challenges here and there, but let it be known that you are making effort to sort out these issues. One cannot say it is the fault of the airlines. They have done their business and allow them to take what is due to them. But we're having this issue. But again, we must also commend the federal government because they have tagged the naira to dollar to about 500 and something naira, which is, for me, is quite reasonable. Of course, we expect the air tickets or the fare to go up because of some of these challenging issues. The airlines are here to make profits, and if the conditions are not too favorable for them, of course, they have to add everything to their cost of doing business, and because for them to remain in business, they need to charge those.
Because we're looking at how many Nigerians can afford these, where business class is now between 3.3 million naira to 4.8 million naira. And of course, the economy class is now between 1.1 million to 2.9 million. So
yes,
this is quite high.
Well, it's quite high. I agree with you. That's for even international flight. Yes. Frank, you'll be amazed. You go to the airport today, you see a lot of Nigerians who want to fly, yes, to UK and other places. But again, it has also affected even domestic flights. A one-way trip from Abuja to Lagos is almost 60,000 naira. Of course, I know my last trip, that was what I had. So it is affected, of course.
Right.
A lot of people want to fly, but some of these things will be a challenge to them. So you look at the issues very well. Before you fly, you know that it is very, very important before you fly. I'm scheduled to be in Abuja some time before the week runs out, but I'm looking at the issues involved. If I could be in that program, be in that event via virtually, where it will be streamed live and I'll participate, of course, I will not need to fly. But what we are saying is, yes, the aviation authority needs to look at these issues so that flying, which is part of human movement from one part of the country to the other and other part of the world, should be made affordable at least so that people can continue to move as when they want to move. Okay.
I think we also look at the last story before we wrap up this segment, and that's talking about Nigeria's blue economy. Perhaps we've not even realized that
there's a
whole lot of opportunity in blue economy. So the country, of course, has spent about $195 million to fight piracy in the Gulf of Guinea in 2021. That's according to President Muhammadu Buhari. But before now, if we have to take assessment of how well the country has done, in developing its blue economy, the entire maritime sector, it's not well developed very well. Yeah, piracy is one issue that we're looking at now, but there are a whole lot of issues. But talk to us about it.
Yes, well, I think this is a very interesting topic, and I think we don't have enough time to look at it. Maybe sometime you look at, you take it
subsequently.
Subsequently. The blue economy. The Nigerian government has done everything it needs to do when it comes to this blue economy. You're talking of ocean economy. Do we even know the chemicals that we can get from ocean that of industrial importance? The economic benefit of some of the marine life when you talk about the blue economy. Knowledge is necessary in this area, and I'm very, very happy because even the Nigerian Navy, they even have a department, a domain of maritime, which to see the role the military can play in enhancing maritime economy. NIMASA is another agency that is doing quite a lot. We must commend the current DG of NIMASA, that is Dr. Jamo. You can see that they are creating this awareness and making stakeholders to be aware that there is a blue economy in the economy. But again, like you have said, piracy is a problem. And of course, the Nigerian president have told us that the government has spent so much when it comes to, of course, you will not hear so much about kidnapping, piracy, because the Navy and other security agencies are top of their game there. You cannot compare when you go to a place like the Horn of Africa, where you have Somali, Djibouti. It's very dangerous. In fact, the whole world knows that if your ship is passing through that place, you know, you have to be very careful. But the Gulf of Guinea, yes, the Nigerian government has done quite a lot in ensuring that, but more still needs to be done. We need to begin to see the benefit of that blue economy, not just only in the Gulf of Guinea, but our internal waters. I keep saying it. I want to move my cassava product from my village in Patani to a neighboring village using the waterways. We're even talking about transportation, rail. Transportation needs to be intermodal. Land, rail, waterways, so that you can see effective movement of goods and services in the country. So I think with this blue economy in place and the stakeholders are involved, then of course begin to see benefits coming from that area, because it's an economy, it's an area that when it is properly harnessed is sustainable. And of course we're talking about sustainability in terms of our economic development, because we will not need to make so much money and damage the environment. So with this blue economy, sustainability is in focus also, because whatever thing that has been done there is sustainability.
Because when you look at the SDG,
exactly
whether Nigeria has done well in that area.
Yes.
Well, it's a conversation that will continue to push. Thank you so much. Charles Fakroha, IBrandTV analyst, we appreciate you for coming on board.
Thank you for having me on the show.
You have a great day. All right, still to come after the break, we head straight to the equities market, where the Nigerian Exchange Limited all-share index and market capitalization increased to 51,606.49 basis point, and you have the market capitalization at 28.9 trillion naira respectively there. So in a moment, of course, we'll look at the current sentiment driving the positive posture we are seeing in the market. We'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.